Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist you? Like this. Mamma Mia, released in 2008, and is directed by Talita Lloyd, who along with this film has also directed the movie The Iron Lady. And this film is starring Meryl Streep, Pierce Brosnan, Colin Firth, Julie Walters, Dominic Cooper, Christine Baranski, Amanda Seyfried, and Stellan Skarsgård. So this thing meets the requirement of you need to have at least one Skarsgård in your movie for the movie to be considered a movie. So therefore, I have to admit that this is an actual movie. Mamma Mia is a jukebox musical based on the theatrical Broadway play of the same name. Featuring the music of ABBA, the film tells the story of Sophie Sheridan, who is getting married tomorrow. Woo! But she has a little secret for her mother, because Sophie has invited the 3 men that her mother slept with 20 years ago, because she thinks that the 3 of them could potentially be her father. And that's a big deal, cause so surprisingly, all 3 of these men have nothing better to do than to come to a remote island in the middle of Greece for a wedding for a person that they haven't seen in 20 years. And through all of this miscommunication and singing of very retro 70s and 60s songs, Sophie hopes to find her dad so that they could give her away at her wedding, and she will live happily ever after, and you know, her mother may fall back in love and get help because, I guess, according to her daughter, she's a woman and she can't do things by herself. I don't know. That's the message I was getting from this. The daughter saw her mother struggling with this hotel business on this remote island in Greece, and she said, well, you know what she needs? A man. So let me get the 3 people that she slept with 20 years ago. Come on out. You haven't seen each other in 20 years. And, you know, they may be my dad. And I haven't felt like this before. Woo! Oh my god. Oh, and while I'm at it, let me just sing songs and sound like a goat. Which Amanda Seyfried does. She sounds like a freaking goat when she sings. I will be upfront here. I have never watched this musical before. You think me having my master's in theater, you think I would be versed in the whole catalog of all musicals from all times, and sadly I am not. But this is one I wanted to stay away from because it is a jukebox musical, and typically I'm not a fan of jukebox musicals, because what jukebox musicals do is they take very famous songs from either a particular genre, or in this case, a particular artist, and they craft a show around the songs of that musician's catalog. So in other words, the play is being written in service of the songs, as opposed to the songs being written in service of the emotions of the characters in the story. Which is everything that I hate about musicals. I love musicals. I love musicals when they're done right. When they are done right, they are beautiful, and they get me singing their songs for weeks on end. In this film, though, I could give 2 shits, and I didn't want to sing anything from here ever again. Because when a musical is done correctly, you're writing your characters along, and your characters get to a certain emotional point in the story where dialogue between a couple of different characters is not conveying the emotion, is not conveying the emotion of that character anymore, and that's when they break into song, that's when they break into dance. As opposed to this movie, where it's like, hey, we have songs, and we have dance, so let's just make a story around it, and it'll make sense. Spoiler alert, it does not. I am glad I watched this movie, though, because I teach at a university, and I teach theater classes, and my students have a movie evaluation along in their semester where they need to watch a movie that either they haven't watched in a very long time, a new release, whatever, watch a movie, and then write a review about it. And it's always baffled me that the most popular movie that my students have done an evaluation on has been Mamma frickin' Mia. And I've withheld judgment because I had my own thoughts as to how this movie was going to go, but everyone seemed to love it. So here it is. It popped up on my random generator. I finally watched it, and I believe the status on my Facebook page that I post was that I've never seen a movie that has made me just hate life and hate the world more. Not like I want to kill myself or commit suicide. That's not it at all. It's just that it just makes me hate things. Like, I hate now. I've learned to hate. I am Maria in West Side Story. At the end of West Side Story, when Tony has been shot, now Maria, she knows how to hate, and she has learned to hate now. That is me for this frickin' movie. I feel like I'm babbling and I'm rambling. I took down a couple of notes because my brain was just everywhere in just pure shock that this film was made. My biggest complaint about the film is the story, obviously. And just this character craving the knowledge of who her father is. And that will somehow make her a better person, or like they'll give her away at the wedding. And I'm trying to understand from the character's perspective why that is important. Because I'm sorry, your mother has raised you your entire life. You are 20 years old. Your mother has been there for 20 years and 9 months. If anyone should be giving you away at your own wedding, it should be your mother. She has been there for you. You are hers to give away. This father you have not seen them before. You don't belong to them. Therefore, they don't give you away. Your mother does. And what would knowing who your father is, how would that help you? How would that change you? The only reason why you should know who your father is to get a family history of, like, heart disease, or just any diseases, like cancer, anything that runs in the genealogy of this person. That is the only reason to find out who your father is. And for this character, if you are that curious as to who your father is, then you know what? Talk to your mother about it. Or even better yet, you found out who these 3 men are? Why don't you email them? Why don't you call them and say, hey, I'm so-and-so's kid, and I'm trying to look for my father. Would you be willing to take a paternity test? Or hell, even better, audition for the Mary Povich show. They will do your paternity test for free on there. I know, because my brother-in-law was on the Maury Povich show to figure out whose baby it was. Spoiler alert, it was a set of twins, and the twins had 2 different daddies. What? Yeah, apparently that happens. Moving on. That was the biggest thing I was thinking throughout this entire thing. Like, have you ever heard of a paternity test? But no, you've decided to stress yourself out the day before your own wedding. That is such a stressful frickin' day for every bride and every groom. But here, bring in these 3 people that your mother hasn't seen. Don't tell your mother, because, you know, it's a musical and we need to have secrets. Even though Meryl Streep, the mother, finds out that they're there, and then she freaks out because she starts thinking about, oh, why are they here? Oh, they're here to ruin the wedding! And there's a miscommunication, you know, the thing that you need in all musicals. That's like the second biggest thing, the second biggest issue that I have with this film. No one talks to each other. Sophie is off doing her own thing, trying to keep this thing a secret. And then the mother is off doing her own thing with her girlfriends, trying to keep that whole thing a secret because she knows that the husbands, or I'm sorry, the boyfriends, the lovers are there. And then the fiancé, Dominic Cooper, is off doing his own thing, and he's the only one with a brain or any sense in this entire film. He's the only one with 2 cents in his brain, because when he finds out that what she did, he kind of like yells at her and says, learning who your father is not going to change who you are. You are the person that determines who you are. And I'm like, yes! Thank you! Thank you! Where were you an hour and a half ago? My God! The story and the characters here are, they're dog shit. The suitors, I guess, they're fine. Like, the characters themselves are fine. I mean, hell, the characters who are the 2 girlfriends of the mother, they're passable too. Like, the characters, they're fine. They're just there to get drunk, see a bunch of boys on the beach, and have a great time. But all of our major characters, I'm just baffled that someone would write such surface-level, stupid characters and stupid motivations to get this story together. And I know the reason why. This whole thing was done because we have songs in here of Long Lost Loves from ABBA, and oh, there's a wedding day, and dancing queens, and woo! Oh yes, I just wooed again. There's a bunch of woo girls in this movie, which just makes me so happy when I hear just wooing in general. So-and-so arrived, woo! So-and-so also arrived, woo! I potentially have 3 dads, woo! This review has turned into Caleb ranting hour, and I'm okay with it, because this film, again, has made me just hate life in general. Now, if you are a fan of this movie, I am not belittling your opinion at all. If you love this movie, awesome. I love films that make people feel great and people, latch onto, because I just love movies in general, and I love when people love movies. I'm just generally curious as to how you like this movie. Not demeaning your opinion at all. I just don't understand. If you do love this movie, if this is one of your favorites, please comment below. I'm looking forward. I'm willing to listen. I'm just curious as to how anyone has a great time with this movie. What this movie is a bunch of white people getting a paid vacation and we are watching it on screen. I'm sorry, there's one black guy on the beach serving drinks. Everyone else here is white. And they're all getting an amazing paid vacation to go on boat trips, to lay on the beach, sing a couple of songs from their heyday from the 70s. You know, right, boomers? And I love Greece. I've been to Greece. I've been on a couple of islands in Greece. Stayed mainly in Athens, which is a huge city with a lot of people stacked on top of each other. But I love Greece. So if you're gonna get a paid vacation to go there, yeah, I would definitely take it. I don't fault any of these actors for taking the roles and taking the paycheck for this movie, but for the audience member who is sitting there watching this piece of shit, I'm just fucking angry. I guess it doesn't help either that I'm not a huge ABBA fan. Like, I don't like majority of their songs. The only thing I like from theirs is SOS, and the only version of theirs that I like of that song is the Chris Jericho Fozzy version, the metal cover that they did a couple of years ago. Definitely not the Pierce Brosnan version, that's for fucking sure. And if any of you out there in the comments are gonna let me know how, like, dumb I am for not loving this movie, if we're gonna get into that argument, I'll just point it out there. Pierce Brosnan. I just won the argument. Who told Pierce Brosnan he can sing? Like, I like Pierce Brosnan. Like, he's my favorite James Bond. Like, he's my James Bond. I love him as an actor, but... No, sir. You cannot sing songs. Stop it. Just stop. No more. Stop it, please. Let's see here. Any other freaking notes that I took on this movie that I want to talk about? I mean, it's kind of fun ranting about it just because I'm so angry. What do we got here? Oh, Sophie rides a donkey to her wedding. That's her procession. I think it's very fitting that her character rides a jackass to her wedding because that's what she's been this entire time in this movie, a total jackass. And I love how the ending of this movie is the Greek goddess Aphrodite literally coming all over the casts at the end of this movie with all the water spraying them in the face. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I know exactly what that is. Thank you. One big gigantic orgasm for Aphrodite. You deserve it. How the hell did this film get a sequel? And I love that the sequel's subtitle is Here We Go Again. Because if I were to walk into that movie, that's exactly how I would feel. Here we go again. Is this the worst movie I've ever seen? No. Human Zoo definitely still has that crown for me. Is this the second worst movie I have ever seen? Yes. This is awful. This is terrible. This is everything I hate about musical theater. When you create songs or you have a bunch of songs and then you craft the emotion and you craft the story around the songs as opposed to crafting the characters and the plot and then crafting the songs to emphasize the emotions and to back up the emotions and the messages that the characters are trying to convey. That's what a musical is. That is not what this movie did. That is not what this musical does. I never want to see this movie again. There. Go away. I'm gonna give Mamma Mia half a frickin' Blu-ray. No! Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I randomly select which movie I'm gonna be watching next, so you know what, let's take a look. Nothing can be as worse as this, right? Can't be. 12 Rounds 3, The Lockdown. This is the one with Dean Ambrose, right? I saw the first 12 Rounds last year for the first time, and that was okay. And then they made 2, which starred Randy Orton, which I haven't seen, but I do have this one, Lockdown 3, with Dean Ambrose. So I'm sure that they're not the same person. Dean Ambrose is not John Cena. Or should I say John Moxley? No. This was WWE. He's not John Moxley in AEW. This is Dean Ambrose. So let's check out 12 Rounds 3. So is it 15 rounds then? Whatever it is, we'll watch it next time. So guys, have you seen Mamma Mia? What did you think about it? Are you with me on this, or are you someone that just adores this movie? And if you are, please let me know, like, why you like this movie. I am genuinely curious, and I'm not belittling your opinion at all. I just want to understand. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button to make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of 12 Rounds 3. But in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.